How's everyone doing tonight? Well, not tonight. When did I mean by tonight? I mean this afternoon. And we are live, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the link out. Go ahead and copy the link. I'm gonna post comment. Boom. It's just an afternoon hangout today. Boom. Now I'm going to check the YouTube feed. See if we are good on YouTube. If we are, then perfect. I'll share the link out to Discord and then everyone. Perfect. Okay, let me share. Let me get the link shared. Let's now create a community post. We are live. Post. Okay, now we'll put this on Discord. Okay. Okay, I'm back now. I've shared the link out to everyone. I guess breaking news came out today that Shaq Barrett of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be out 7 to 9 months. That is a big blow for the Bucs. Man, they're going to be out. That's one of their big defensive stars right there. Shaq Barrett out. That's a long time right there. Dang, he's going to miss a lot next year too. Dang. He's going to miss a lot of next year's season as well. That sucks. Shaq Barrett's a good player. That's going to suck for the Buccaneers really badly. Also, news for Carolina Panthers is that supposedly Chuba Hubbard's out this week. What's up, BB? How you doing today? Yeah, Carolina Panthers running back Chuba Hubbard is out this week with his ankle injury, so they're going to be handing it off to Deontay Foreman for the Carolina Panthers. But I think we should just talk about yesterday's game, the Thursday night football game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that game right there proved that this Buccaneers team is not that good. 3-5, first time ever Tom Brady is 2 games under 500. First time ever as a starter. Tom Brady's been 2 games under 500. That is shocking. I never would have thought in my life I'd say those words. Lamar Jackson owned the Buccaneers, but in the second half. First half, I don't think either team played good. It was a defensive battle first half. It was 10-3 at half. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. You got to take into effect all of the injuries that the Buccaneers have. You also got to take into effect that they lost a whole bunch of offensive linemen, so they got pretty much a new offensive line that's not helping Tom Brady out either. The divorce is calling into Tom Brady's head too, so that hurt. That could have hurt Tom Brady's performance as well. Mike Evans has been dropping the ball a lot, which has definitely not been helping the Buccaneers out either. Do you know how many plays there's been the last couple of weeks that if Mike Evans could have caught that ball, there could have been a score. There could have been at least 3 points or 7 points put up. The game against Carolina, Mike Evans was wide open, dropped the ball. That would have been a touchdown. He had a couple of drops yesterday against Baltimore, and those drops really hurt him. Those could have been either 3 points or potential 7 points. This Bucs team's been through a lot of problems. Not to mention, Todd Bowles has not helped them out either. Terrible play calling by the coaching staff. I think if I was Tom Brady, I would have said, I'm not coming back. With Bruce Arians leaving the Bucs, if I was Brady, I'd say, I'm not going to come back. But that'd be me. Brady obviously came back. I think so too. If Mike Evans caught that ball versus the Panthers, I think they could have won too. But we're talking about, though, the Buccaneers are now the if situation, though. They're 3-5. But it's an if now. If you caught that ball, they could have been 4-5 right now. I mean, not 4-4. There we go. Not 4-5. It's just, there's been so many bad things. Yeah, Todd is a terrible coach. He's never been really a good coach. I don't know why they hired Todd Bowles in the first place. It was not a good idea at all. I feel like it's just hurt the Buccaneers. The Ravens owned them yesterday. I mean, now I guess you could say, though, yeah, it was a tale of two halves. Buccaneers, I mean, I guess you could kind of say own the first half, even though I think we really obviously know they didn't. I mean, the Ravens only put up 3 points in that first half. Could have been 6. Who knows if they didn't block that field goal? It could have been 6. But I mean, that second half, the Ravens really put it up. Not saying that the Bucs lost to a good team. I think the Ravens are good, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. I want to talk about the Ravens now. The Ravens have some problems too. Now, obviously, yes, they are also injury prone. Let's see here. They lost They lost Mark Andrews. That is their best receiver, their tight end. Possibly, you could either him or Kelsey, you could compare as right now the best tight end in the game. They lost Bateman. That's another big loss. They lost Gus Edwards. Let's see. Going into the game, they had no J.K. Dobbins. I think their best running back they have. The Ravens dealing with injuries. You also got to put into effect they've blown so many leads. I think their record could be a lot better. It obviously could be a lot better. They just blown so many leads. I think there was tons of people watching this game that said, "Oh man, the Ravens are going to blow this lead against the Bucks." Luckily, they didn't. If you're a Ravens fan, luckily they didn't. I think the Ravens are good, but their defense needs some work and need better receivers. I agree with that. They do need some better receivers. Their defense does need some work, especially in the secondary. I think everyone thought Kyle Hamilton was going to be good going into the season. Kyle Hamilton showed his flashes, but I don't think Kyle Hamilton's the answer in the secondary. Marcus Peters, to be honest with you, I think Marcus Peters just needs to go. I'm not saying Marcus Peters is a bad player, but you know the amount of times Marcus Peters has been called for penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct. I think he got called for that yesterday. In fact, Marcus Peters, I mean, his playing on the field helps, but his actions don't. I think you could probably say Marcus Peters is the Antonio Brown of defense. I think a lot of people can agree with that. I think tons of people can agree with that. I'm just going to say this. The Ravens are a good team. I just don't think they're a team that I trust going into the playoffs. Peters has always had trouble with injuries. Yes, he has. Even when he was with the Chiefs. When he was with us, he had problems with with penalties as well. Heck, one of his big penalties with the Chiefs was when he picked up a flag and threw it into the crowd. This man is a menace on the field. I'm not gonna lie about that. Marcus Peters is a menace on the field. I think the only reason the Ravens still have him is he's actually a decent defensive player. I'm not going to say he's not a bad defensive player. He's actually good on defense. But if you wonder why the Chiefs got rid of Marcus Peters so many years ago, it's because of his actions on the field. I think if Peters leaves the Ravens, if Jim Harbaugh says he's had enough, or the owner of the Ravens says he has enough, it's because of Peters' action. I think they just need to do a complete rebuild of this defense. At least a second, to be honest. There's so many guys in the trade block. If you want to talk about the Ravens trade for people, Cindy Jones. Peters is so great, but the penalties cost him. One of the reasons I think we got rid of him. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the exact reason why we got rid of him. Is just the penalties. That's why I'd like to compare him to the Antonio Brown on defense. That's what I call him, is the Antonio Brown on defense. He's good, but he comes with a cost of penalties. I mean, it's like every time Peters makes a good play, there's a flag on the field for unsportsmanlike conduct. Like I said, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I would say he's the best guy you can have because of his penalties. Now let's talk about some of these games on Sunday. There's some good games. The surprising game of the week, in my mind, the Seahawks led by Geno Smith versus the Daniel Jones-led Giants. The only game that both teams have a winning record. Seahawks going into this week with a 4-3 record. Giants are 6-1. What a shocker! Never would have thought I'd see this in a million years. The Giants having a 6-1 record. I didn't think the Seahawks were going to be good going into this season with Geno Smith. Both these teams have just shocked me. This is kind of the game I just want to watch and be like, this might be a fun game. I mean, man. The Seahawks, Geno Smith, has been really good. Now, they might be missing one of their best offensive weapons in DK Metcalf. He's listed week to week with his knee injury. Obviously, the Giants just got rid of Kadarius Toney. I don't think he would have been a big factor going into this game anyway. I doubt he would have played with the Giants. I think the same thing, too. I think the Seahawks win this game. I think the Seahawks offense is legit. Their defense is legit, too. They have two of the best corners rookie corners. Like, I think top 3 rookie corners this year, okay? Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, and Sauce Gardner. Top 3 rookie corners this year. The Seahawks have 2 of those. They have 2. Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant. You cannot forget on their offense the juggernaut that is Kenneth Walker. There has been he's had so many 60-plus touchdowns this year. This man is a beast. I mean, heck, his run this last week, he went over 22 miles an hour. It's the fastest run this year. Kenneth Walker's underrated. I feel like he's going to have a great game. I think so, too. Kenneth Walker's so underrated. I was shocked to see that Rashad Penny got the starting job over him earlier this season. I thought damn well Kenneth Walker is going to be the starter for Seattle as their running back starting the season. Even though I didn't think it was cool to see Rashad Penny get injured. But I think you could also say this was a blessing for Kenneth Walker, because now he's the starter and he's showing to everyone that he is the best. I think here soon, next couple of years, we might be comparing him with some of the best running backs in the league, if not already now. I think he could be a next Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley. This man, that man is good. He's really good. I can't wait to see Kenneth Walker when he continues on. Now it's not a stream. It's not a stream without talking about my Chiefs. So, if you guys didn't watch my stream yesterday, we were talking about the Kadarius Toney trade. Obviously, if you do not know what happened, the Chiefs traded a third that can become a fourth and a 6th-round pick to the New York Giants for wide receiver Kadarius Toney. I have read a little bit more on this. Looks like the Chiefs are going to be using Kadarius Toney as kind of like a Deebo Samuel type role for this offense. He is a speedster. He's really fast. But this also surprised me. An article was put out yesterday talking about that Kadarius Toney faked his injury just so he doesn't have to be on the Giants anymore. When I saw that, I was like, man. I was surprised to see that. At first, I was like, okay, this guy's injured. Why did we trade for him? But then this happens. I think it could be a good trade, but what does that mean for Hardman? That's a good question. That is a great question. Hardman's been an up and down receiver. He's shown his flashes. To be honest with you, I don't think we have Hardman next year. This is his last year on his contract. I don't think we re-sign him. If we re-sign Hardman, I'd be shocked. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if he's one of those guys that we trade at the trade deadline. Now, if you don't know, the trade deadline is on Tuesday. I'm not saying McCall Hardman is a terrible receiver. He has talent. He showed against the 49ers. 3 touchdowns. But I don't think he's going to be a Chief long term. If they do re-sign him, I think it's a 1-year contract. I want to see McCall Hardman prove himself more. If he doesn't prove himself more, I think McCall Hardman is either traded at the trade deadline on Tuesday, or he's not a Chief next year. I think either way, he's not a Chief next year. I don't. We re-sign him either. Yeah, I agree with that. We don't re-sign him. Hardman's not going to be a Chief next year. I think Kadarius Toney's going to be that guy. Now, there's also an article put out by Pro Football Talk yesterday. This interested me, and I also saw evidence that this could be true. So there's an article yesterday by PFT talking about that. Even though the Chiefs trade for Kadarius Toney, they're still not out of the Odell Beckham Jr. sweepstakes. You're saying, you would think they would be. But then more evidence was after Kadarius Toney got traded to the Chiefs, Kadarius Toney retweeted a tweet from Odell Beckham Jr. Now, pretty much the tweet was about people doubting Odell Beckham Jr. and his abilities, saying that pretty much Odell Beckham Jr. proving to the haters that he actually is still good. That's just pretty much putting this in a brief summary. But why was Kadarius Toney, after he just got traded to the Chiefs, put out this tweet, retweeting a tweet from Odell Beckham Jr.? It's interesting. There's two sides to this. One, it might not mean anything. It could just be Kadarius Toney and Odell Beckham Jr. are good friends. Or there's the other side saying this could be a hint, and that Kadarius Toney knows Odell Beckham Jr. might go to the Chiefs, and Kadarius Toney is giving everyone a hint, like, this is where he's going, by retweeting an Odell Beckham Jr. post and just reading in between the lines, Kadarius Toney pretty much saying, you know where he's going right now. I think so too, but I think we can't rule it out that about this tweet. As I do agree. I think Toney and OBJ are just good friends, but I think you just can't rule out that possibility. When there's also articles saying out here by PFT, which if you don't know, Pro Football Talk, they're on not ESPN, they're on NBC. I think they moved to Peacock now. But if you don't know, whenever they're putting out articles and Kadarius Toney's over here retweeting an Odell Beckham Jr. post, as much as I want to just think that they're friends, I think it could be a clue. Whenever you're getting these articles and then you see this retweet by Kadarius Toney, I think both these meet in the middle, and I think it could be Odell Beckham Jr. coming to Kansas City. Now, this goes into the scenario here. We're talking about McCole Hardman being traded or not re-signing next year. I think if this could be a thing, if we get Odell Beckham Jr., Hardman's gone. I mean, we're still inside that 30 days that OBJ said he's going to give his decision. We're not that far away from the decision day. Heck, he may even give it early. But I think it'll be really interesting to see what it is here. I'll be right back real quick. I'm going to go get my prediction book, and we're going to do our predictions for this week in week number 8. Okay, we are back. I'm going to answer this question real quick. If we got OBJ, whose spot would we take? Whose spot would he take? Well, it's an interesting question. He won't be back. Oh, I got air in my mouth. I don't know how. He won't be back. He won't be playing until December. That's at least what I said. Read in an article. OBJ won't be back until December. But whose spot would he take? To be honest with you, I don't think he takes anyone's spot. I think the Chiefs play what possibly would be a 4-receiver set. I think they interchange Toney and OBJ. Or they might go a 4-receiver set. Whenever they want to go 3 receivers at a tight end, they'll rotate between OBJ and Kadarius Toney. Or whatever they want to give Kelsey a rest on a play, they can go a 4-receiver set, play OBJ, Toney, MBS, and Juju. I don't think he'll be getting rid of it. I think Toney's the replacement for Hardman. I mean, I guess you can say OBJ could be a Sky Moore replacement if he does not turn out to be the best. I think we would just rotate players. Yes, I think it would just be a player rotation. And then do 4 receiver the floors they reset whenever Kelsey wants a break on the bench. But I think it's time. It's time for our weekend predictions for Sunday. I'm already 1-0 this week. I did take the Ravens over the Buccaneers. So we're starting out with the London game. The Denver Broncos playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in Wembley at Wembley Stadium. This game will be exclusively on ESPN Plus. Russell Wilson will be playing this week for the Denver Broncos. Jacksonville, obviously now without James Robinson after he got traded to the New York Jets. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game against the Denver Broncos. I just don't think the Denver Broncos have it yet. I don't think they'll have it this year. I don't think Russell Wilson was the smart choice for this Denver Broncos team. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, which I can't believe I'm about to say this, is a game that will decide the NFC South and whoever will lead the NFC South going into next week. Panthers will be out with no Chuba Hubbard. Atlanta Falcons, obviously still missing Cordero Patterson. He's still in the IR. As much as I want to take Carolina, I'm going to take Atlanta. But I would not be surprised if Carolina won this game. I'm going to take Atlanta over Carolina. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys. The Bears played good last week against the Patriots, blowing out Bailey Zappi and the Patriots. Broncos have only scored 8 touchdowns this year. Yeah, I know. They have been terrible. Russell Wilson's not been the answer for that Broncos team. But Chicago Bears, after coming off of a blowout win versus the New England Patriots last week, whenever they forced Mac Jones to get benched for Bailey Zappi, versus the Dallas Cowboys led by Dak Prescott. I think this has a potential for a good game. I'm taking the Cowboys, but I think shockingly we'll see a close game. BB says, I think the Falcons will win, but I want the Panthers to win. I do too, but I do agree. I think the Falcons will win. Okay, next up we have the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. The Lions just came off of a blowout, getting blown out by the Cowboys. Miami Dolphins coming out of a close win against Kenny Picked Off and the Steelers. I'm taking the Dolphins. Gridiron Blitz, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But I'm taking the Dolphins over the Lions. Tua stays undefeated this year as a starter. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. The Cardinals, D-Hop, Robbie Anderson, they're still without Hollywood Brown. Versus the Minnesota Vikings, that have been honestly one of the shocking teams this year. Sitting at 5-1, coming off a bye week. This is going to be an offensive firepower matchup between both teams. This one's going to be a high-scoring, close game, but I'll give it to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm taking the upset on this one. Yes, you're hearing it here. Arizona's going to beat Minnesota in this matchup. Next up, we have the Raiders versus the Saints. This is really a game of mid versus mid. Andy Dalton's not getting the start, I believe. Looking at fantasy football and looking at numbers, I think Jameis Winston's starting this game. Versus Derek Carr and the Raiders. Not gonna lie, Josh Jacobs been looking good. This team's immediately been switching to a rushing offense. I'm taking the Raiders over the Saints. As much as my heart says I hate the Raiders, I gotta take the Raiders over the Saints. The Saints are not good, but neither are the Raiders. Next up, we have Mac Jones and the Patriots and the New York Jets playing each other. One of the surprising teams in football this year, the New York Jets. led by Zach Wilson, the MILF lover. Yes, I had to say it, the MILF lover. Zach Wilson really hasn't looked well, but the offense with their rushing attack has. But their one key thing is Breece Hall is gone. But I guess you could say good news with trading for James Robinson. Would be good news for this offense. I think we see a close game. I think we see a defensive matchup. I give this one to the Jets. Okay? Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers led by Kenny Picked Off and the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think there's any question about this one. It's going to be the Eagles that win this. They're going to stay undefeated. Eagles are just too good. Eagles fly in this one. Eagles over the Steelers. I'm sorry to my friends that are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, but next up, we have the Tennessee Titans, which the Chiefs will play next week on Sunday Night Football, versus the Houston Texans. The Texans are bad. There's no joke about it. The Texans are bad. Titans, blow them out. No question. You guys will come back to this video when the Titans blow up the Texans. Watch you guys, because it's going to happen. Titans blow up the Texans. It's going to happen. Next up, we have the Washington Commies versus the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking a shocker here. I'm taking the Commies over the Colts. Yes, you're hearing it right here. I'm going to take the Commies over the Colts. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers, after they just got blown out by us, versus the LA Rams. I think we know how this is going to go. You already know the story. Niners always beat the Rams, unless if it's the playoffs. Taking the Niners. Even though the Niners do not have Deebo Samuel this week, still taking the Niners. Next up, we have the G-Men versus the Seattle Seahawks. I already said who I think is going to win earlier, but I think the Seahawks are going to win. Giants get their second loss of the season. Geno Smith is the GOAT. Then Sunday Night Football. I think everyone thought early in the season this one might be a good one. This one's going to be a blowout. Packers, Bills. Give me the Bills in a blowout. And then the final game, my lock of the week. That's why I have the Joe Burrow jersey. We have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. I'm locking it in right now. Give me Cincinnati over Cleveland. That's my lock of the week. And that's my Week 8 predictions for the rest of the week. Go ahead. I put some upsets in there. I see BB agrees with me taking the Commies with the win. I think the Commies actually might win. 49ers going to win. I agree, yeah. Seahawks, yeah. Bills, this is going to be a blowout. You already know. The Bills are blowing them out. Packers are no good this year. It's not a question. Hold up. Do I have my clip of the Packers of why I say that?
You have 100 messages.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the Packers season's been right there. Yeah. If you can put that in perspective, that's how the Packers have been this year. Packers are not good. They are a bad team. Aaron Rodgers washed. So is Tom Brady. Both of them might as well retire. It's the fall off of both of them. But hey, thank you guys for watching this stream. I'm Missouri Sports Network. Hey, we'll catch you next time and in the next stream. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, he said it would be hilarious if the Packers win. We'll leave on that one. It would be hilarious if the Packers win.